Welcome viewers on the YouTube channel Lex Consilium Foundation. I'm Major General Neelendra Kumar on the playlist Going Strong, which presents before you eminent persons above the age of 80 who are known for having distinguished work for the society, community, or for the nation. Here we have Commodore Ranjit Rai, a naval historian who was also a very distinguished naval officer in having held the appointments and the slots of Director of Naval Intelligence and Naval Operations. Commodore, I would request you tell the viewers about Commodore Agate, who was the first naval officer in charge of Goa after the Goa operations in 1961.
Thank you, General. I'm very happy you're going to speak about Commodore Agate, the Anglo-Indian officer Hayden Arthur Agate. You know, this officer's name should be written in red letters by the Indian Navy. And as I speak to you, you will learn had it not been for Commodore Agate, the Indian Navy would not have INS Hansa in Goa. It would not have the hydrographic school there. It would not have resurrected the Albuquerque, which was sunk in the Goa operation. Right. We would not have the Goa shipyard in the Navy's hand.
Credit
Only because of Commodore Agate. Maharashtrians call him Agate because that was the pronunciation. There was a wonderful bunch of Anglo-Indian officers who built this Navy, and even the Air Force and the Army knows that.
Yes.
Most of them decided at some stage to migrate, and Commodore Agate also did that. I did not meet personally Commodore Agate till one day Admiral Karmaka decided to give him a farewell. He was retiring from the Navy to go to Australia or England. Admiral Karmaka's farewells to senior officers. A Commodore was a very senior officer, though.
Yes.
A one-star admiral. And more than that, he knew his illustrious ability to have got the Goa under control of the Navy. The Army tried, the Air Force tried, and I must say, 2 months after the Navy took over and flew the Seahawks in, INS Dharani, within 3 days of the Goa operation in 1961, brought stores, manpower, everything into Goa. A young Lieutenant Bharat Bhushan, who later went and made nuclear submarines, was the staff officer engineering. My course mate, right. Sub-Lieutenant Nehra was the supply officer, and Commander Tellis was the second in command. They just took over. Commodore Agate went to the Port Trust chairman's house, and he was a bachelor. At least I never heard he was married. He moved in there. He was a hockey player.
Right.
I do not know whether he made the A team, but he was standby for the Indian team, hockey team, which won the gold medal, which had Lieutenant Commander Arkley and Lieutenant Commander Nandi Singh. I served under Nandi Singh. They were world-class hockey players. And I must tell you, according to Admiral Kamaka, he was called one day and said, Agate, do you want to play bloody hockey or be a naval officer? And Agate said to him, I will do both. So that was Agate commissioned along with the other Anglo-Indians. He was just junior to Admiral A.K. Chatterjee, Admiral Kohli, because they started taking over. There were only 2 good drivers, officers in Goa. Nehra used to be one driver, Lieutenant Bharat Bhushan the other driver, and they used to take the Surgeon Commander Mondal, Lieutenant Commander, the doctor, to look after patients. I must tell you, I took a small ship called Sharayu to Goa after the operations.
Yes.
I didn't know who the Commodore was, but we used to pump water in that small ship, and the electric pump used to go out of order, and we had to hand pump water. Wait for the bucket for the captain also to have. I was a lieutenant. I went to Bharat Bhushan, and when I went to him, I said, Sir, SSRR, return, repair, and take the pump back. Sir, I have only one pump. Please get it repaired. He said, Oh, we've just taken over Goa. Take 3 pumps. So I remember that I was taking part in the Goa operation, but I remember this incident very well, all because of Commodore Agate. I do not ever have met him.
Yes.
But only when Admiral Kamaka gave a farewell, I was the flag lieutenant. I saw a 6'2" handsome Gora officer walk in with such personality for his farewell. His farewell was arranged with drinks on a minesweeper and dinner in an Irani restaurant on Grant Road, Bombay. That was the way Admiral Kamaka gave farewells. The Kunjali was phoned up always. that Admiral Kabakar is giving farewell in
Yes.
an Irani restaurant with biryani and kebabs.
Yes.
And Kunjali used to cordon off an area, and I learned for the first time how Admiral Kabakar gave farewell and how much respect he gave Commodore
Yes.
Hayden Arthur Agate. I just saw him for that one evening, but when I went to Goa, and recently I went to Goa again, reminded myself of the Anjadeep operation. Agate was in my mind.
Yes.
That had Commodore Agate not been there, then Chairman Chiefs of Staff sent Wing Commander or Group Captain Datigara,
Yes.
who became with a letter, Air Force is taking over airfield.
Right.
You are too small, and I believe Agate looked at that and said, I take orders only from the Chief of Naval Staff.
Wonderful.
That was Commodore Agate. I hope
Wonderful.
this country remembers him. I do not know, but there should be a plaque in Goa to say the first naval officer in charge. And I do not want to make the army angry. They have a big signal training center in
Yes.
Goa. Had Commodore Agate not been there, history is made by humans.
It's incomplete.
Maybe the Goa Naval Station would be in the hands of the Indian Air Force.
Yes.
I hope people don't mind that, but that is the way services
It
work.
should be.
We work for India. We do not work for the service as much
right.
as we work for the country. INS Hansa and Goa has done the Indian Navy, and Indian aviation very proud, remembering Commodore Agate.
Thank you very much. The viewers, please be with us. These sort of editions will continue that will be of interest to you. Thank you, Commodore.
Right, sir.
Okay.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Bye.